Rent control often sounds like a simple fix for high housing costs. However, a large body of economic research and real-world experience shows that strict rent control tends to fail as an urban policy. Over time, it reduces housing quality, limits choice, and creates long-term issues for the very renters it aims to protect. If you are a property owner, tenant, or investor evaluating rental property management in Maryland, it is important to understand how these policies have performed in real markets before you make decisions. Decades of analysis from economists across the political spectrum have reached similar conclusions. For example, surveys of professional economists have consistently found broad agreement that rent control reduces the quantity and quality of available housing over time. Studies of rent control in cities such as New York, San Francisco, and Cambridge, Massachusetts, have documented that strict controls discourage new construction. These policies accelerate property conversion to non-rental uses and lead to underinvestment in maintenance and upgrades. Rent control typically caps how much rents can rise over time. While that may seem protective in the short term, both theory and evidence indicate that it discourages new investment. When potential income is legally limited but operating and capital costs continue to rise, property owners are less likely to build new units or keep homes in top condition. Urban policy studies have found that new rental construction declines when strict, long-term controls are adopted, especially in moderate and middle-income segments. Owners often respond by converting rental units to condominiums or other uses that are not covered by rent control. Controlled buildings tend to show more signs of deterioration over time compared with otherwise similar uncontrolled properties. Research has documented that tenants stay in units that no longer fit their needs simply because they cannot risk losing a controlled rent. This lock-in effect further limits availability for new renters who need housing and leads to a misallocation of existing housing stock. Stable, well-cared-for housing depends on owners having the financial room to invest in repairs. Rent control pushes owners in the opposite direction by compressing margins. When rent control distorts prices, it creates ripple effects throughout the broader housing market, not just within regulated properties. Studies have shown a decline in new rental development, which worsens overall scarcity and contributes to higher rents in the uncontrolled segment. With future rental income tightly constrained, owners have less reason to complete major capital improvements or preventive maintenance. Evidence indicates that owners often respond by converting rental properties, shrinking the long-term rental stock, and putting upward pressure on remaining units. New entrants to the city are often pushed into a smaller, unregulated segment where rents are higher than they would have been without rent control. Policy debates about rent control will continue, but the research record is clear. As an urban policy tool, strict rent control has repeatedly produced long-term unintended consequences. These policies undermine housing affordability, quality, and access. Expanding supply, encouraging investment, and maintaining properties well are more effective ways to support renters.